Thank you, Pentakill. Once again, another great album, great song. Last Whisper coming at you. Riot Games producing the music, free to use. Everyone, welcome. This is a match coming at you tonight. Supernova Division. It's actually just going to be a game. Flex Appeal versus Disadvantaged Leaguers coming at you. This was played yesterday. I got a request by multiple people to do this game, so we're just gonna go into it here and get going. First, this is a VOD, so it should be very unique in aspect on how it gets going. So first off, as we kind of see, we are 1 second in. On the side of Flex Appeal, we got Crizzle Brizzle up top on the Urgot, Quit Badger Meh on the Jungle Lee Sin, Demilia Petra on the Vel'Koz mid laner, the Tidzi on AD carrying the Zaya, and Sotha Zil, hopefully I pronounced your name right, bud, on the brand support. Then coming in and onto the side of Disadvantaged Leaguers. Oh no. Do I not have champions? What happened with the replay? Okay, hold on. Hold on. I have a map, but no champions. Let me get out of this. And let's see if I can restart it here. Hold on a second. Okay. What was that? We're gonna get loaded back in here, hopefully. Okay, one team's loaded in now. Both teams loaded in. There we go. Okay, super. So, on the side of Disadvantaged Leaguer, $3 bill up top on Cho'Gath. Raj of Rajay of TOJ. Gudo on the Morgana. Death by Cows on Caitlyn. Avant-Garde on Braum. As we've got a nice invade here with the Morgana Braum Sejuani Cho'Gath. That's a dirty invade combo right there. I'm really glad to see that the Disadvantaged Leaguers trying to pull out their best stops here, go for broke in this early invade, and it looks like the Flex Appeal is going to pay their respects and do a invade on the other enemy side. So Urgot can beat Cho'Gath in top lane. The Lee Sin at mobility versus the Sejuani, who takes slightly longer to scale up. And then Lee Sin's just going to be a kick bot. Vel'Koz, if doesn't get jumped on, can pump out a lot of damage, but is kind of immobile. Versus the Morgana, who has a lot of CC, and her kin is a lot of utility, but not the highest of help here, as it looks like nice red buff start on the side of the Sejuani, so should be able to take that. Cho'Gath actually leashed that. Is going to burn teleport, so early delay. Now, we'll see if Lee Sin wants to gank this Morgana from behind. His Morgana is kind of pushing in to the Vel'Koz up here. Oh, jeez. The early W start on Crizzle. It's absolutely tearing away at $3 bill. Did start the Doran's Ring instead of Doran's Shield, as Lee Sin's going to take the risk. A lot more ape damage, just all damage coming out on the side of Flex Appeal here. So probably going to be a lot of fighting in this matchup. Once again, I was told this was going to be an intense game. So let's see. Let's see if it lives up to the hype here. We're gonna trying to get some damage down with the W. Not using the pool. You do have to get a couple levels in it before you can lay the pool down in lane to just clear out the minions. And just, once you get the minions pushed, you just keep the lane pushed. Before Vel'Koz can, you know, pump out the return damage. Also, you get that little bit of spell vamp coming from Morgana. Should be able to sustain pretty well in lane with the Dorn's Ring. It looks like a lot of stun damage and being burned onto Avant-Garde. We'll see if he gets to burn the heal. Yep, there's Death by Cow's heal to keep this support up and alive after that turning the damage. But Brand burning through a lot of mana. Cho'Gath, it's not going very well up here. Or maybe the CC. Sejuani gank down here in the bottom path by both the bot laners here, so pretty even as Vel'Koz is actually trading a lot of mana for the health of Gudo. We'll see if Sejuani wants to stick around. Let's get off a bag. This $3 bill has hit level 4 now. They're about the same health and actually doing fairly better on the health aspect than health and mana compared to the Urgot. But if you take that damage, there's the W, and that lock-on is going to absolutely just going to burn through your health if it gets hit. And then, oh, Gudo getting hit by yet another one of those weird right angle turns of the Q from the Vel'Koz. And we're going to have an all-in from Urgot as Sejuani shows up, and this means that flashing out both the CF down goes Krizzle. Flash wasn't able to get into the bush, knew he was going to die for it, tried to get the turnaround on the $3 bill, non-successful. So the early gank by Raj, burning his flash, takes the advantage. Lee Sin is not backed yet, or gone really to any lane. So with the, oh no, we will, it's a lot of damage. With the, maybe he'll show up bound bot. Lee Sin's usually the one trying to be the aggressive early style. Sejuani just right place, right time. It looks like up in that top lane as continues to get his farm on. Taking it the Scuttle Crab. Xayah, another one of those champions that can kind of just push in Caitlyn if she spans her abilities. Caitlyn, if she spams her abilities, can push in Xayah depending how much they want to do. As it looks like you flash in by no, flash away, sorry, by Gudo as the Vel'Koz actually had backed and teleported back to lane. Morgana wanted to try and get that extra CS and leveling. Caitlyn's been hit by a couple of these brand Qs. Kind of crushing her lane there. But now here comes the Sejuani as Brand's going to go for the all-in, try and get as much damage in onto Caitlyn, but it looks like the stun and finish off. So Death by Cows, successful damage here in lane as he's going to have to run out from the Sejuani, who's going to just Q away back to the bush as they're going to probably have to return safely here. Not enough mana probably for Xayah to continue to like try and push in to get a kill, but if Death by Cows and Avant-Garde aren't careful, the 2v1 here could go bad for them. Morgana clearing up some Scuttle Crab, got a pink ward in. We got missing pings across the board right now. Morgana's going to show back up to lane. Urgot's to get into some nice deep vision in. That's a great spot to place a pink ward by Urgot in the right on the across from the red buff. Easy to see. They know when the spawn of red buff is due to the fact that Lee Sin started there, so they should have the timer on it. Cho'Gath doesn't check that bush. We'll see if Sejuani checks it on her way into the this thing. And a snare on a minion. Looked like it hit the the Vel'Koz there, but not quite. Sejuani definitely making the most of her appearances in lane. Lee Sin has burnt a flash in mid lane out of Morgana, and other than that, hasn't really done anything. They know where Sejuani is to Lee Sin. We'll see if there's some trading here by the junglers other than ward placement. Is there pings placed? Spectator mode. We'll switch out of that once we get into a little bit more out of laning phase here. Is that laning phase just loves spectator mode. Basically just loves top lane and bot lane. Really doesn't like the mid laners during this time, but good combo here. But that's a level 4 Brand, hitting a level 5 Braum, who has been able to get a lot of health to stack up, and the refillable potions should be able to sustain a lane from all that damage coming out. Looks like Krizzle's going to try and go for an all-in, but Krizzle, man, you're fighting in like 6 minions. I know you're pumping out the damage, but 6 minions, that's kind of a lot. It looks like Morgana's going to go for the all-in here. We'll see if there's the final snare, and Gudo's going to finish off Vel'Koz. You face check the bush right into the Morg Q, into the ult, the W. Morg was able to pop her shield on herself to prevent anything else from happening. You know, damage or slow coming out. So, while the laners... Oh, Sedge back here. Tizzy's going to have to pop the ult. We'll see what happens. Sejuani ult comes out, and we'll see if we can get a trap in by Death by House as the pullback is going to pull through. There's the ult by Caitlyn. Down goes as Lee Sin shows up, gets the kickoff onto Caitlyn, I think, but doesn't actually do anything with it. Doesn't set the combo up. I'm going to watch the second screen here. See, nope, kicked the Sejuani, but threw the Q into a minion, so wasn't able to follow up on that one. I was about to say the kills and kind of lane controls going over as we have $3 bill trying maybe to look to all in Krizzle. Not going to quite happen. The lane controls kind of going towards the side of disadvantaged leaguers, but the CS advantages pretty much across the board are you know, Urgot's up, Lee Sin's up, Vel'Koz is up. Oh no, Cho'Gath. The silence. I don't think you're getting too much damage. You do get eaten. Flash out. That's enough. How much do you live, buddy? Oh, Krizzle. $3 bill ate you and lived with less than 50 health after those tower shots. So, tower dive coming out successful. This is looking really good for disadvantaged leaguers right now, as they're starting to get to the position where if they keep sending the enemy laners back to base, they should be able to push in and start taking some towers as we're try and see who's going to get the first brick gold. I think that's going to be more important for one team to open up the advantages. I feel like there's going to be this lull in the time frame on the stage of disadvantaged leaguers between when Cho'Gath's not quite a super tank with Sejuani, who's going to show up here in onto Krizzle, but this time Krizzle has the dozen-plus minions helping him out as here comes the next wave. Not sure they're going to be able to take down, but they're going to try and fight him anyway. Let's see if we can get another stun, but there's the silence, and there's no flashing away. Tries to get the execute here. $3 bill tanking yet another set of tower shots. He's been able to tank out that. I was just saying, there's going to be a lull at the point where the tanks aren't tanky, super tanks, and the Morgana damage is starting to drop off, and the Caitlyn damage hasn't been completely turned on yet, where maybe Urgot's damage is spiking, Lee Sin's damage is spiking, Vel'Koz's damage is starting to suppress his... Oh, great bait by $3 bill in onto Lee Sin. The mid laners are going to trade, and down goes Lee Sin. This is 8-0 if... This is almost looking like a stomp. Why was I set to cast this game again? This better have some pretty epic stuff. I mean, Witness got a steal the other night. Maybe on the Rift Herald, maybe we get some Dragon Steel something. Turn this game around, but it's... The CS levels are what's really keeping, you know, the flex appeal in this game right now. Because they just seem to not... on point, and they're just living by the slimmest of margins. see what they want to do here. No one's looked at Dragon. Looks Morgana. We'll see if go all in. Does with the shield. Flashes in. Pop the ult. No ult on Sedagudo. Why would you flash in for that? Maybe autos. Oh, well, I guess the Morgana is now on a killing spree. Also, interesting that goes for the flash in by Lee Sin. Does not get the kickoff. And the Sejuani, great counter gank. Urgot's going to miss the ult there. Not going to be able to rip to shreds the Queen of Darkness or Lady of Darkness. I'm not exactly sure what her title is anymore. Well, with the mid laner down yet again, this is a pretty easy dragon take for the side of disadvantaged leaguers. And it's a Mountain Drake. So once they do get up to these towers, it should help them start going through them. Morgana, not the fastest tower taker. Caitlyn does have the IE now, should be able to start putting some damage into the towers, but doesn't really excel at taking them until she gets at least a Zeal into, you know, the 2 Zeal items. Cho'Gath, not the fastest tower taker. Urgot's way better at taking towers than Cho'Gath, so this should help with that deficiency that this team slightly comes from. Sejuani's going to come in again. We'll see if we can get the double stun here. It looks like Sejuani's going to go in, and we'll see what. There's the Xayah ult, pulls back through and protects it, and we'll see. There's one more ult. Caitlyn ult knock. Ooh, is going to finish off. Vel'Koz ult in return. See if we can pick up a kill. This is 12-0. Lee Sin's going to jump in, try and throw out the Q. Not going to happen. I'm not Vel'Koz. Is just going to clear out the minion waves. I mean, they're just so close on following these up. $3 bill getting in some nice trades here in onto the Crizzle. This is down almost 30 CS, so you know, kills are great and everything, but experience and CS sometimes are more important than how many times you can kill your enemy laner. We'll see if that impacts a difference. Now, the Scuttle Crabs have been basically in control by Badger here. Means that his team does have the better vision. Currently, look at all those blue wards down in the bottom half of the map here. So they should know where Sejuani is. That pink ward is still there. That was set by the Urgot earlier. There's the Q. We'll see if Lee Sin follows it. Not going to happen, as the Morgana shield was still up after not being able to be burnt through from Vel'Koz Q. I wonder if Morgana's put a couple of extra points in her her Q. Or W. E. Nope, just the 1 point still in the black shield. Top laner's training it out yet again, because this is the most exciting thing going on in the map. Xayah and Brand nearly have taken down this bottom tower. And considering all the kills, they are down 4k gold at 15 minutes. So Morgana looking to maybe sacrifice herself here for the first tower, as Lee Sin's going to go in with the kick. Morg's going to push the Q and walk it on out. But here comes Xayah and, you know, Brand. Finish off. Took 4 people to kill Morgana here in the mid lane as she was trying to focus in on this tower. And just by the hair on its chinny chin chin, it's going to be stayed up. Whoa, Caitlyn does get that bottom tower. Lee Sin followed that Q in, decides to jump on out. So with Caitlyn getting first brick gold, and that's going to be solo gold for the Caitlyn, should be in really good position here. Now she is about 1,500 gold over her mini opposing AD carry. I mean, this is 12-1 in kills. As we touch on the golds. Okay. I mean, Cho'Gath hasn't quite built an item yet. I'm not sure what first item Cho'Gath's going to go for. Deadman's? I haven't really seen a Deadman's first on Cho'Gath. Now, against Urgot, if you get the Bramble Vest, his W, like, that applies on hit effects, so the Bramble Vest then returns that damage, is a great item against Urgot. First pickup, I mean, for that first 1,000 gold you have. I know that Cho'Gath wants to get health. He wants to get, like, Righteous Glory. That could have been another great item, maybe the first item, depending on what catalyst. Go catalyst and something else. Morgana gonna pop the shield, but not necessarily need it. I'm not sure if Deadman's is the way you want to go on it, but I mean, when you're kind of in this position that you are, Ninja Tab, I definitely need it against, you got 3 large attack, but the AP damage dealers on this side of Flex is going to be really strong, because, I mean, that's a Brand and a Vel'Koz that are going to burn through tanks, because that's kind of what they do, is they're tank burners. Brand's already gone for Sword Shoes, looking to get right in it. Urgot's going to go in here, as they're just going to finish off. This is going to be a dead. Whoa, great Zonias, but you cannot prevent the Urgot from trying. Oh, I guess you can. You kill Urgot. Once again, I mean, that's a giant mech monster. He can't be that tasty, but this dinosaur prehistoric Cho'Gath just loves eating him so much. Killing spree on the side of Sejuani now, as the tanks are starting to roll through without any pen or, you know, fully completed damage items, not items for these this team. They're just starting to fall behind here. This is something that Gelati and I have discussed a few times. The importance of, as he put it, the basics of your high damage comps, which this team that's the one team is running. It's a higher risk, higher reward, but there comes that higher risk. I mean, if you don't have any tankiness, so if you don't execute well on your plays, there's a chance for you to fall behind, and this is the way it's starting to go. I mean, they are down good 6K right now. I mean, the Morgana has gone. Zonia's in the Proto Belt, so this is does have to pick up the ring. I wonder if maybe just gonna hit on that for a little bit of mana. I haven't, not that I haven't seen Proto Belt on Morgana, because I think that's a good item, and the Zonia is good. Usually you see some type of mana regeneration item, or item with mana in it is, oh no, you got kicked into Q, and that's going to be just all the abilities being spent by everyone there. Cho'Gath's going to actually eat the dragon, so he's going to get yet another stack. Morgana dies for it. But that was the Lee Sin ult, the Vel'Koz ult. Xayah has to back afterwards after tanking so much damage. And with the second Mountain Drake, this is going to really put the DVL in a good position if they get to either a Baron setup or a Dragon here. Caitlyn's does have the 1 Zeal item. This $3 bill just does not care about what the tower had to say to him. Caitlyn just fires an ult to say, get out of lane, Vel'Koz. I'm just coming to clear out the minions. You need to leave. Lisa trying to help Urgot up here with some wave clear. As goes in for some trade. Oh no. Braum and Sejuani together are really dirty, as Xayah is going to be able to take that tower down in the bot lane. Lee Sin does get a kickoff. We'll see if the stun is going to happen. Is this going to finish? Rupture not going to land here. Silas coming off and eaten yet again. $3 bill needs to be called like $3 and your lunch money, because he's taken Crizzle's lunch money 3 times now. He's feasting on him. With those 2 mountains, that tower dropped fairly quickly for 2 tanks and a Braum hitting it. So the damage will fall off though for disadvantaged leaguers. Morgana is pretty much going to be capped here shortly. Caitlyn's going to still ramp up to the very end, but at which point does, you know, Urgot, I mean, Urgot's going to output more damage other than the true damage than Cho'Gath. Lee Sin can do more damage than Sejuani. But it's the CC right now and all the lockdown that's coming out on the side of DVL, which is really helping them secure things. So maybe just the slight tankiness from Urgot and Lee Sin can get them to a point where if they can tank the first round of CC, maybe they can continue the fight, and that extra damage that they get from the Brand, Vel'Koz, Xayah, Lee Sin, Urgot, there's a team or individuals in the skirmishes can help take out, you know, some of these tanks who don't have that same amount of damage. To that point where how much tank can you tank versus how much can you give? As Lee Sin's going to be able to jump around. Urgot's going to walk right into that, and it looks like Sonya's, but not before Morgana. Oh, Morgana didn't ult. Let's get the lockdown in place. Vel'Koz's ult comes across and does absolutely nothing damage as Braum flashes over the wall. Lee Sin looks, does get a kick, does land back into Morgana. Great knockup as the pullback of the feathers finishes off, and that's the team fight they were looking for. No Caitlyn was there. The CCing of their lane was absolutely perfect and lucky, if you could, in my consideration. Brand was able to take out Braum on the side, and with so he was not able to get his, you know, really anything off in the fight. The Xayah showed up, the stuns, the Lee Sin kick got a perfect double knockup into the Urgot. Does that mean Urgot ate Cho'Gath? I mean, so he returns the favor? I think so, right? Like he pulls it with the chain right into his tummy. I mean, he doesn't go via the mouth, he just goes straight to the gullet. And with that fight, they just rushed straight at Barret. I mean, the only one that was with any health whatsoever was the Caitlyn up on the map. So good take here by Flex, as they did get a little bit of an advantage and use that window to get an objective. And they're probably gonna have to do this like 2, maybe 3 more times before they can be really back in it. I mean, there's 2 cleavers, black cleavers already to help remove some of that armor that's already been stacked up, as Death by Cows is going to tank a tower shot, but she's already got 1.5 Zeal items done, so she should be on her way, just absolutely starting rolling through these towers. The vision control, we still have that pink ward placed by Urgot, like at the very, like, it was like 10 minutes into the game, across from the red on the top side of the map. So it looks like this is the part of the lull that can happen when you're trying to figure out where everyone should go. The assignments. Dragon's coming up here. You can't really push into a team with Baron, even though you're ahead because of the souped up minions. You would like to get Dragon, but it's a Ocean Drake, so it's not necessarily to like super hardcore fight over it, although Cho'Gath stack would be nice. So Disadvantaged Leaguer's trying to, at best, pick their advantage, get that Banshees off of there, as Xayah's just going to take the Baronet minions while they're looking to posture over Dragon and just push it straight down mid lane. With the help of this Urgot, that's a lot of damage really fast. We'll see if Lee Sin wants to follow in here. And after they peeled off Dragon, 2 towers straight in a row. Excellent job on the rotations there, as DVL really trying to set up for Dragon. Basically gets side-doored, you know, kicked in the side door here, as Flex appeal. Able to use those Baronet minions, plus the Xayah and the Urgot takedown towers. See if Lee Sin takes this. He goes in. Vel'Koz is going to go. It does get the knockup, but Brand burns the damage there. Caitlyn's going to shoot in. Oh no, here comes in Urgot. We got a big match going on here for it, as Urgot's going to finish one. Xayah's going to take Braum off on the back end. They're trying to finish off Urgot before he can execute something. Morgana's actually going to kick into his own enemy team's AD carry, as the Vel'Koz is going to finish off. Lee Sin's going to be able to take out the Caitlyn because of that. And the scattered fight, the damage wasn't on the selected members. They tried to take out the Urgot early on, and it wasn't happening. And with that means it's probably going to be a really strong push in here for Flex. I mean, they did get the Dragon on the side of DVL, and did go on the Cho'Gath, but not quite set up that they probably where they wanted it. They didn't come out of the objective with a stable escape plan. So they tunnel focused. So they had position, and the enemy team had Baron. So the enemy team has Baron. What do you not want them to do? You don't want them to be in lanes pushing with Baron. What did they allow them to do? Xayah and the Urgot pushed up mid lane with the Baron up, took the towers. What led from that? They then reestablished control over Dragon, and Flex just let them take it, right? But the exit plan, leaving the Dragon area, is where they didn't set up correctly on their proper disengage from the pit, and the split fight. Braum being taken out on the back end, them trying to fight their way through Urgot to leave towards the main part of the river, the mid lane, and it just didn't go well, and Urgot lived long enough, and actually lived the entire time, for his teammates who finished the Braum to go keep following them up and continue following the damage. Lee Sin kick back in. Oh, she broke. There's a kick by Lee Sin. Try and dump in all the damage in on the Sejuani. As Urgot is split pushing in the bot lane. Let's check in on Urgot real quick. Does not have Baron, but does have a Black Cleaver and the Frozen Mallet. Should be able to shred this tower pretty quickly. He's got, looks like, two minion waves here pretty much. So this tower is going to go down. And the gold has swung way back in favor now of Flex. And this is part of the problem, is that high execution is now starting to really pay off for them, as there's the stun coming out onto Xayah, who did jump out of them. Well, she's going to be able to pull out. Caitlyn ult's going to come up, though, not the heal, and there's Lee Sin yet again with the shield. This time, Urgot's going to be able to ult in and take out the Caitlyn. She's the one getting eaten this time, not Urgot, as Cho'Gath is stuck in bot lane clearing out that wave, which means the Flex appeal, they hit some items. They were able to surpass that gold because of basically not... They forced a couple of things, a team fight into Baron, into slightly better positioning around objectives. They took some towers, allowing for the dragons to be taken out on the side of DVL, and they use that to their advantage. Once again, they're a high-risk, high-reward comp. They have to pick their fights and battles very carefully, and it's also that other point that I made earlier, as in the Cho'Gath and the Sejuani haven't fully peaked yet as tanks. The Morgana damage going for the Proto Belt and the Zhonya's has fallen off compared to the Vel'Koz damage, who is the Banshees, Morellos. And Caitlyn, while it's, the IE and the two Zeal items, it's still working her way back up to a late game, and Xayah's going to be able to put a little bit more damage and a little bit more CC, and then you have Brand versus Braum, right? Braum, excellent tank support, good for utility, comes for the team. Doesn't bring out any damage though, and Brand is damage just kind of over pushing them in the fight and just slightly over topping them, allowing them in these skirmishes where they have slightly better numbers or better numbers situationally, depending on how they are placed on the map in their formations or just where they're at. Means that the Flex is getting the better advantage, and now that Flex has done that a couple of times, 3 times in a row, they now have the gold lead, and now they're hitting item spikes before DVL is, and it looks like until the Caitlyn can get really online, that's going to be harder for DVL to come back in, as we have a team fight here. It goes full engage. It looks like Morgana tries to get in on the backline, not going to happen, but there's that Brand ult in the backline. It's not only putting out a ton of damage, it's also shredding them and getting off that slow with that because of that Rylai's, and it looks like they're going to try and continue on, and we're going to flash Q on the side of Vel'Koz, is able to take down the tank. So Morgana was able to get in on the backline, but being separated from the rest of the team, no one was able to follow up, means that it's just it's not a win for DVL here. The team that wins this wins that fight is the Flex appeal. Although they are up 15 to 13 in kills, they're down a ton of towers right now, and the pace that they had exceeded from the early game was very good and very well to see, but sometimes they just overstepped, and then when the enemy team makes mistakes, Flex Appeal really capitalized to the maximum potential that they could have done. They could have just gotten Baron and not pushed with it and taken towers. But no, they kept pushing the advantage as hard as they could in the appropriate situations, fighting when they knew they wanted to fight, not fighting when they didn't want to fight. Cho'Gath is going to kill you. Kill him. Kill him. Come on, $3 bill. Oh. I wanted to see how fire tasted. And now we have yet another dragon fight. And it looks like, once again, this is going to go over to the DVL, but this allowed Urgot time to push up in the top lane. Urgot doesn't want to be in these 5v5 team fights. He's fine with skirmishes and flanking off to the side or being flanked upon, but he doesn't want to be in a straight 5v5. It's just not the type of style that this champion is in. And he's now playing Distraction as the inhibitor respawned, and as soon as it respawned, that Flex was right on top of that. Great timing by them to pick up the inhibitor on respawn. I mean, the help with the little bit of looked like Baron buff that was on them, able to push that in as Urgot was, pushing in 2.5 waves up in top lane that had to be answered by more than just one person. And now here comes the vision game control, the vision getting it all out, making sure you know where you're going. This gold swing has been extremely drastic. DVL was up, I think, about like 5 or 6K, and now they are down almost 8K, down 8K gold. That's a lot, It's like a 14, 15K gold swing here in about 10, 15 minutes. It looks like Vel'Koz's going to go for an all-in on Caitlyn, who's going to have to flash out. Heal is not up, as we see Cho'Gath's actually getting rooted here, and with all the damage coming back in, he's going to have to flash backwards as well. Braum can't do this. Urgot was able to kill Sejuani, probably up in the top lane here. Lee Sin just clearing out the minion lanes in mid, as this cannon minion is doing all of the damage, and Caitlyn's going to try and get some auto attacks, kick Lee Sin out. But now Urgot's just shredding this tower here, as this tower is going to probably drop here. Urgot is finished off that one. Caitlyn's going to drop to the brand. Zhonya's coming out on side of Morgana. Not going to be enough as she's trying to finish off someone, and this is where the damage is just starting to fall off with the Proto Belt, and Zhonya's not going to be enough to really take anyone out, because you do have some type of healing. Just the MR and health you gain with levels sometimes can, help, prevent all of that, as she wasn't able to get any more items after. I mean, she got those 2 items super fast in this game. Wasn't able to capitalize onto the next item, as all the inhibitors now are going to go down except for the one. And with everything down, Urgot's going to get the last eat of this one. Krizzle, you may have fed Cho'Gath lunch and breakfast, maybe even dinner, but Sejuani was your just desserts. So if this was the crazy game, this started off, where were they up, like 9 to like 2 in kills, maybe like 12 to 2 in kills, something like that, and then all the way come back to 18 to 16. That gold swing, very drastic. And it's, honestly, it literally all comes back to, now that we've watched it, is it this one right here? Let's see here. Where's the first Baron? There's the first Baron. Okay. So let's see here. Spectator mode's gonna be funky here because I went back in time. But we're going to look at it here from this perspective. Going forward. Okay, so we got 15 to 2 in kills. They're up, let's just say 6K. And they're trying to push in and take different types of objectives, right? It's getting to that tier 2. And Lee Sin and top laner, they're trading, spells and abilities here. And they go for a blue buff here. Blue buff is on spawn. Caitlyn is not there. Caitlyn's running for mid lane, so they feel comfortable taking this as Vel'Koz is just cleared out mid lane. Braum's on the way. There's vision here. There's no vision here, but they know Lee Sin and Urgot just backed off. Cho'Gath is pushing in this wave, so they figure this is probably an easy blue buff. Right? They don't know where Xayah is. They know Brand was over here because there's a ward. And as this starts, they're in good position. They're like, okay, blue buff, it's taken. Urgot comes to check it. I don't know, Avant-Garde, he made it here first before the Brand. But Caitlyn went this way. Notice how Caitlyn's going down? And this is this is the beginning of the season, so teams need to work on communication and all of this. Like, there's a ton of things to work at. But this is the pivotal point where the whole game changed, right? Cho'Gath didn't fully push the wave in, as Xayah is able to run up and be here. No one knows where Xayah is on the side of the red team. As a result, Caitlyn makes a beeline bot. Vel'Koz, they didn't know walked this way. They knew Lee Sin and Urgot are here. They can see Brand. So Urgot turns. Urgot's tanky at this point, to the point where he should be able to defend against this. Morgana goes in, casts the ult. It's on Lee Sin. It's on Urgot. Vel'Koz and Brand burn abilities onto Braum back here, who's setting up, preventing any follow-through damage from coming through. But here's the problem that this DVL team is currently in. This mid-game point that we touched on going in is where's their damage. It's right here in Zhonya's, and it's all the way over here. And it's right there, the Cho'Gath. Cho'Gath hasn't entered the fight yet. So two of their high damage dealers are not here. All these people, Lee Sin low, or half health, Vel'Koz half health, Brand, he's low, but no one's going to be able to get to him. No one's going to be able to get any damage on because of the CC layering. So Vel'Koz pops ult, prevents Sejuani and Cho'Gath from really entering the fray, as the Sejuani ult came off and did hit Urgot, who's being caught here in the middle and just being cannon fodder for the front line. Lee Sin's able to slip out of the Morgana ult here, and Brand is going to basically lose out to Braum's damage at this point. Xayah just going to be able to get some auto attack. No one's able to get to the Vel'Koz. Caitlyn has now just turned around to try and look towards the fight. We'll play it another couple seconds. Urgot is tanky enough to survive what Morgana's pumping out. Same with Sejuani. Because this is a full tank. Full tank, no damage. Full tank, no damage. Damage, but early game, no pen yet. So natural resistances and masteries and runes here are applying to how this team fight is going. Disadvantaged leaguers don't want to fight in the jungle. They may want to flank by Morgana, but they want in a space where Caitlyn can free fire. As I don't know what the call is, but Caitlyn is killing Scuttle Crab. And this is where they pump out all their damage. Braum has to flash out, and it looks like the continuation to go in. I think they felt that they're so far ahead at this point that they can go in here and take out Krizzle, focus Tidzy as they separate the team. But just go back 15 seconds and sort of watch it how it plays. The Zhonya's, Urgot blocks the Sejuani ult. Lee Sin gets stunned here. There's silence, but not on Lee Sin. Braum flashes out. Lee Sin gets in, kicks the Cho'Gath into Morgana, who can't finish continuing anything. And it's Sejuani, Cho'Gath, and Morgana, and their damage is all spell rotation based. And if you blow all your spells, you can't do very much. I mean, we can watch this team fight in slow motion. Half speed. All of the damage is not here. Morgana's has blown ults. Q, there's the shield. Prevent damage. Vel'Koz burns the one rotation. Gonna set up for two. Braum has to flash out, so no more tankiness. Lee Sin comes in. Sejuani tries to get the stun on onto Krizzle, but there's the CC chain coming out from Lee Sin. Tidzy with the feather pullback. The Urgot finally getting the proper eating. And it just goes in favor. And from here, it's easy, right? Like, not easy, but this is where the call is. Oh, wait, we just killed the 2 tanks in the mid laner. Braum has to back. Caitlyn, based on the fight, went to push bot lane out. We can look at taking mid lane tower here, or we can do Baron. And they made the correct play, and they go to Baron. Most teams probably would have just taken this tower. And this tower is taking this tower is not a wrong decision. It is not the most optimal decision. And this is what when you play a higher risk reward team comp, you have to make the most optimal decision. And then from here, it's just about playing with their win conditions and fighting when they want to fight to excel their damage. So, how poorly the Flex team played individually leading up to basically this 23 minute fight makes up for it in the next 5 minutes, where they take Baron, Tower, a bunch of kills, they lose Dragon, but they take the inhibitor, and then they just make up for it in the individual skirmishes and like team fighting and moving around. And there's where your high risk, high reward pays off. This team fight right here. Hopefully that breakdown was understandable. Taking this team fight here by disadvantaged leaguers is not what ultimately loses them the game, but which puts them in a position where it's harder to win the game, and it makes it easier for Flex Appeal to win. Disadvantaged leaguers can still win after this team fight and after losing Baron, but the next few steps is this is where the snowball starts. And sometimes it's very easy to point out, like this last team fight was. So, okay, hopefully that was good enough. It was a good game. It was a really good comeback on the side of Flex. You can definitely see that DVL does have a lot of potential and can succeed and can win games. And if they just tighten up a few things, they should definitely be looking very tough competitors going into the future. So thanks for sending me the VOD, guys, and hopefully you like not only the cast but the kind of breakdown here at the end of what I think is the most crucial point of the match. So I'm going to sign off now and send this up to the tubes. And you have a good night. I will be gone for the next 10 to 11 days. You will not hear from me. But until then, keep on playing. Enjoy the new season.
Have I